You're tuned in to the It's Real podcast with your hosts, Kayla Andrew and Andrew Yagi. Each week, we'll talk about what happens behind the scenes working full-time in real estate and share with you real-life stories, our successes and failures as we work to help consumers and industry professionals reach their real estate and real-life goals. Here we go.
Welcome to the It's Real podcast. I'm Kayla Andrew, and I'm a mortgage lender.
And I'm Andrew Yagi, and I'm a real estate agent.
Andy, did you notice I didn't say the episode?
I missed it, Kayla. I was just kind of in
I couldn't recall, so we're just going to roll with it.
Episode 50, Kayla. 50.
Oh, you know, I was going to say 48, and I'm like, maybe it's 49, so I would have been wrong either way.
50 is quite a milestone, though. In fact, I was just looking at our account here that we create everything in, and we're almost out of our storage because we have like 50 hours of like recording.
Wow. Think of all the content we could go and grab.
Content.
I love it.
Kayla, how's your week going?
It has been crazy. It's Tuesday, I think, today when we're recording this. And we have 7 or 8 closings that will occur this week, which is pretty steady, pretty busy. And so I don't know about you, but when it's closing week, that's when everything kind of comes to a head and final numbers and all those things. So very blessed, very grateful for the chaos of this week, because that means 8 families are being helped, whether it's a refi or a purchase. So kind of a cool feeling.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, I have one transaction we're still trying to get closed from last week, Kayla. So I'll provide a pro tip. I happen to be working with the sellers on a property. There's a buyer coming from out of state to purchase their property. And the buyer buying this out of state individual's property is relying on some funds from like an investment or retirement account. And they decided, or the investment company mailed the check, and the check did not make it.
Well, so where's the check? Do we know? No tracking, no overnight, nothing?
Cannot find it. Just apparently snail mailed it, and yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Pro tip, don't mail things of value in the postal mail, especially if there's a due date, if you can help it. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, Andy. So what's the solution then?
Well, we're just kind of playing a waiting game and kind of hoping that the check shows up. And, luckily my clients are very gracious and, understand that things happen, but, hopefully things work out. And, at the end of the day, Kayla, things always work out. It's just sometimes it's a little bit frustrating and a little bit touch and go.
My mother-in-law always says, no matter how you react, the outcome is the same. And I think that in our industry, we have a lot of emotions and a lot of, I don't want to say assumptions, and people get worried. And at the end of the day, like, there's always a solution. We can always find something to make something work. But how you react, even us as lenders, as realtors, how we react, like, that goes out into the world and that impacts our clients and our referral partners. And so I think about that often, because sometimes we get the most incredible clients that are so awesome and understanding. There's so much out of our control. Andy, you know this.
Right.
And then you've got clients that it's smooth sailing, it's awesome, and something still doesn't work. You know what I mean? So it's just, you got to just stay positive. And
I just always try to set expectations like, hey, things are going to happen. We're going to run into some snags, but you know what? We're going to work through it. And I've really learned, like, when I first jumped into real estate and, was kind of on my own fairly early, I had a lot of anxiety about things going wrong and, how's this going to work? How's that going to work? They're going to be mad at me. It's not really my fault. And now I've kind of, year 4 into the business, just kind of learned that, things are going to happen, and we kind of have to roll with it. I mean, that's what life is, one little fire or hiccup or whatever it is. And it reminds me of the book, Kayla, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, because it's all small stuff.
It's all small stuff.
It is. It really is. And again, we're here to just, kind of keep people calm and keep everybody working through their goals, but not just, in real estate or in mortgage, but also in our daily lives on the boards, that we serve on with our families, with people that look up to us for advice or guidance as well.
I 100% agree with that. And at the end of the day, it's like, I work with a lot of doctors, and knowing what they do day in and day out, I always say, we're not saving lives. Like, thank goodness, because that I can't imagine. And then you talk to these doctors that actually do save lives and the stress that they might be under. And it just kind of, for me, it kind of puts things in perspective a little bit. So yeah,
For sure.
it's one of those things, but hey, we take it as it comes, right?
Absolutely.
I love it.
One closing at a time, or in your case, 8 this week.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then it's a busy July too. And then I'm seeing apps kind of slow down. I am at this moment, and more people finding houses, but on the house to be able to make the offer. So, I don't know if that's because rates have been flat. I don't know if that's because, okay, it's right around the 4th of July. It usually slows down around then and then picks back up after. And then I don't know if you see this too, Andy, but people want to be in a home before the school year starts.
Right.
Be settled. So then we'll see kind of a push for end of August, and then it kind of slows down. So we kind of see that ebb and flow this time of year.
Right. I think the market is a little, we'll call it fickle, so to speak. It's a little bit off. I was just looking the other day, Kayla, at kind of the Minnesota housing numbers. They put out numbers every month, and so these are the May numbers that just came out. I guess probably a week ago. And so, like in May, there were 6,500 closed sales in Minnesota. It was up 10% year over year. Homes for sale inventory is up about 16%. Sale price up about 3%. Days on market increasing as well. So again, good to see more inventory come on the market. Good to see some continued appreciation. Again, we talk about the cost of waiting and really a home being a great investment. In fact, I was just out today. I was visiting with a couple that in 2021. I helped them sell their home in West Fargo and purchase one here in my immediate area. And, they're kind of thinking about, hey, it's maybe time to move, or we'd like to get into town or whatever, just as life is changing. And, what's our house worth today? And it's actually really fun to look at, what their home more than likely is worth after, just 3 years of living there.
Yeah, it's so exciting when you've got someone that's even been in a home for a few years and they're ready for that next step or that upgrade or downsizing, because that their home is going to appreciate, which means as a lender, I know they're going to be able to take those funds and roll that into a new house and be able to afford more because they've got that equity that they can roll in. And so it's almost like a exciting piece to be able to do the math and figure it out. And more times than not, it's usually more than sometimes they think. And so that's exciting. I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Kayla, what are you seeing in rates, this last week?
Pretty flat. They've remained a 0.01 difference today. So right around that 7 mark. Again, people ask all the time, well, can I pay points? Yes, you can pay discount points, which is a fee upfront for a lower rate. However, make sure you're having the conversation with your lender about what's your break-even point, meaning how many years is it going to take of saving $50 a month to make up the cost of $4,500 to buy the rate down. So as we watch rates and as we talk about, there could be an option to refinance in the future when we don't know, we're still following the forecasts. We want to make sure that you're not going to refinance or get rid of that loan or move before you break even, because then you're throwing the money away. So I bring that up because it's a common question that I'm getting probably daily, that yes, you can, but it's going to cost you and it might not make sense. It may not. So rates are right around that 7 mark for a conventional. And we're seeing North Dakota housing's been pretty steady too. I think it's up about 1/8 to 1/4, but no big movement there either.
Sure. So things pretty flat. And again, if you need a house, which again, I think the thing that I see in the market is, again, those that are really, intent on doing something or need to for some reason are getting out there. They're maybe having their pick of the litter in some cases. I was just talking with my team today, and we were getting some kind of new photos, new headshots done, and talking to the photographer who was here, who does a lot of real estate photography, and just kind of talking about how he really sees quite a slowdown which, maybe is good to get some normalcy back to the market. Because frankly, Kayla, like I've been around here for like 5 minutes. I don't even know what normalcy looks like, except I was just kind of reliving my experience of buying my first home in 2011. And the fact that, I looked at about 5 or 6 homes on a Thursday, and, the following Wednesday, they were all still available and I could offer on any one.
Wow.
I mean, that's just unheard of.
Isn't it crazy? I remember when I would have a client that told me they were going to make an offer on a home. And I was like, yes, they're going to get a purchase agreement. Now it's like they might offer, they might not, they might, there's still multiple offers on certain price ranges, but we've seen such swings. And then the swing back of you couldn't even see a house, people were making offers sight unseen. So it's been such a joyous journey in mortgage and real estate. But you want to know what? It's allowed us to really become sharper. And to be exposed to such different markets has been kind of a blessing, because it has made, I don't know about you, but it's made me a stronger lender. So
yeah, no, I think it's definitely made me a better agent as far as like, helping clients reach their goals and really pushing them, and finding them success.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we always talk about is aligning yourself with people, with your transaction, for your purchase, for your refi, whatever it may be, for your sale. Always align yourself with the right people, right? We talk about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We probably, beat it to death. But at the end of the day, there's so much truth in that. Mm-hmm. And so today, Andy, we're going to switch directions, I feel like, if that's okay with you. And I want to talk a little bit about, and I know you're dying to talk about this, is having the right people around you personally too. Having your own personal board of directors, if you will, and how important that is, whether you're in real estate or you're in college or maybe you're in retirement, whatever stage of life you're in. Can you not agree that who you're around just completely can change your mood, your perception, your growth, your trajectory? Do you feel that too, Andy?
Absolutely, Kayla. I think that, if you want, well, again, we all have different desires and different needs and, different things that we're chasing. And, there are a lot of people that are content kind of with the status quo, so to speak, kind of just doing, just going and doing their own thing and content with, whatever potential career they're in. They're happy with their family trajectory, with their social life. And that's okay. But there are a lot of people, including people like us, Kayla, that really want more. And so as we're, kind of plodding down this path, I really have taken a hard look at that, this past year, just because like I am hungry for growth nonstop, which my wife would say is, not always a good thing, because sometimes it's to no end. But I've really been looking hard at who am I spending time with, and who should I spend more time with? Who should I spend less time with? Just in so many different areas of life.
Yeah, and I think too, we get on this hamster wheel of go, go, go sometimes. Also, you don't even know what you should be saying yes or no to. I think there's a season of life where you're saying yes to everything because there's an opportunity, you could meet someone. But then there's this other season of life where you really need to be able to say no to the right things. And sometimes being absent from something is as smart as being present. Sometimes by not going to something or not doing something or being part of a board or a charity, whatever it may be, allows you to open up those opportunities for something else. And I know that people have probably heard this before, but now more than ever, I feel like you and I, Andy, are at those points in our lives where we're like, where is our passion? What do we want to do? Where do we want to succeed? I had a realtor the other day. She posted, I am no longer taking any new clients. I'm sorry that I'm not taking any new ones right now. And I thought to myself, I'm like, wow, that was pretty cool of her, because she was, and I reached out to her and I asked, and she said, I'm just at a point where if I don't, I'm going to burn out. And so could she hire? Yes. Could she get different systems? Sure. But her choice was based on her family, her health, and the fact that she did not want to burn out. And I have more respect for that person for recognizing it and moving forward with that path, because that's hard to do. That's hard to say no to.
That is, it gives me a little anxiety, honestly, just hearing that story because like I have been like the people pleaser, and
Oh,
the one
really?
that is not good at saying no. And
Mhm.
I'm starting to learn to say no a little bit more. And it's a little bit uncomfortable at times because
Mhm.
again, like, we want everybody, or I want everybody to win. I want to be able to be there. Like I love helping people. I love to serve. But at what cost?
Mhm.
So I found that like in my case, it's been costing me my health in
Yeah.
that, I don't prioritize health. And if you don't prioritize health, you have to make time, for illness in the long run.
Mhm.
So I've really been trying to prioritize that a little bit more. I also look at all of the boards like that I've served on, and I know you are big into philanthropy also, but at one point I was serving on like 14 different boards or in different groups.
Yeah, I know.
And, COVID was maybe a little bit helpful when it came to that, and
Mhm.
that there were some things that dissolved or we didn't get together. And then it really helped gain perspective. But the other thing that helps gain perspective is family and trying to prioritize family, um, which has been helpful for me.
Tell me this, Andy. You've had such a career shift in your life, like what you've done. And I don't know if the audience knows all the things that you've done, but do you feel like being in real estate, has that been the career that's created the most, I want to say, unbalanced life? Or have you felt there's been other jobs or careers or things that you've experienced where you felt unbalanced or having this pull out and push of like growth, but now you got a family, and before obviously you didn't have your three beautiful girls, but was it real estate that maybe made that occur, or how do you feel about that?
I mean, I think that you can get sucked into any career. I mean, in America, we get just so sucked into our work, or it's kind of the expectation,
Hmm.
that you go above and beyond. And if you want to make a name for yourself, you go and you work really hard. And so I
Hmm.
found that I think, number one, from growing up on a family farm where, hey, it doesn't matter what's going on. You are out at the farm at 7 o'clock. You're there before anybody else. You
Hmm.
need to be there, work, 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 work. Working in funeral service, it was really difficult because again, there you're serving people at a very difficult time. Real estate, you're there to serve as well. And so I think what it comes down to is just setting expectations with people, Kayla, and just letting people know like, hey, I'm here, I'm a resource, but here is what you can expect from me. And if you set those expectations, like you set yourself up for success. How about you?
I agree. I think well, let's be honest, shall we? Okay, we're going to be a little
Let's.
vulnerable here. So I went to a conference in the fall of 2022. It was a mortgage conference. And since that day, my life changed because I got connected with people that were doing more and doing big things, and they were inspiring me. And honestly, it's helped me grow tremendously. And the connections I've made nationally with people and the incredible collaboration with other people, it has really changed my trajectory. But what it's also done, and maybe you have this too, is we start to follow each other on social media, and then you're following all the hundreds of people you meet, and then you meet someone else. And so I get caught in the, well, I see on social media they're constantly closing loans, making content, traveling, and so it's easy to say, what am I doing? Should I be doing more? It's not often that you see people posting the relaxation and doing less and I'm not working today. It's usually that hustle culture mindset. So for me, I would say it wasn't just being in mortgage or real estate. It was going to a conference and meeting people and then going to more conferences and expanding your people. But it has also been very, very beneficial for my growth. But it's easy to get caught up in the, look what they're doing. Should I be doing more? What should I be doing differently? It's so easy to get caught in that spin of questioning yourself.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a book that I'm thinking of, The Gap and the Gain. And have you ever read it?
I quite literally purchased it last night on my Audible.
No kidding.
No joke.
I think you're going to like it. I'm not even going to try to summarize the premise, but it talks a lot about where you're living in the gap or in the gain and
Mhm.
just kind of, and I think a big part of it is just like, hey, we just, we go, 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 we hustle. We're never quite content. And it's a challenging space to be, because I even tell myself, like, obviously I have a lot of passion for aviation. Okay, well, if I hit this aviation milestone, I'm going to be so happy. And it's like, okay, I did that. Now what's next? What else can I do? And
Mhm.
so I think it's just, it's really important to just be mindful and just live in the present, and, and just find the joy in daily life, which really comes back to, kind of the main topic here, Kayla, when you talk about having a good set of advisors, of directors, people that you're surrounding yourself with, but people that kind of help push you to be better.
Mhm.
How do you assemble a group of people like that, and who do you look to, Kayla?
I actually made a list. I've made a list. Andy, I don't know if you know this, but you're on my list.
I'm on your
So
list. Wow.
you're on my
You
list.
sure you made your list and you checked it twice and made
Yeah,
sure it's on your
pretty
list?
much. Yep. Been doing that since I met you. But, I think that's just what you do is what people make me feel better, what people push me, what individuals do I find myself, feeling so motivated or encouraged. And I would encourage and invite people to think about that. Whether it's someone in your church or someone, a colleague, or somebody that you want to even maybe get to know better. I mean, there's nothing wrong with putting someone on your list that you want to get to know better, because you just never know where that conversation can lead or where that connection can lead. So for me, Andy, I've just kind of made a list, and it changes. And sometimes I'll meet somebody once and I'm like, gosh, I want to get to know them better, because I feel like we can help each other. And I think it happens organically with your friendships too. We all have different friends that provide different layers. I've got, the Tammy and AJ of my life that, bring me calm and peace and love and happiness. And I've got the Sean and Rachel's that I can talk about career forever, and they have the best advice. And what's really cool is when you can implement those people in your life at any given time, because you cannot just rely on yourself. And if, iron sharpens iron. So
Mhm.
for me, I just kind of make a list and think about that. And then I'm not afraid to reach out to those people and say, hey, I'm struggling with something, or hey, can I get your advice? That's what I do. Have you done that, Andy?
Well, I haven't made a list. I probably have in my head, but
Yeah.
it is easy to, to look past some individuals, and probably the bigger challenge I have, Kayla, is living in a more rural area, like a community of 15,000. There are a lot of great people around here, but you've got to dig a little bit more to
I
find
do.
that group of people. And I finally figured out in my mind that, you know, the individuals that are on this list, or that, you find important, you don't have to be right here. We have
No.
so many ways to stay connected, like when you talk, people you connect with at different conferences, and, staying in touch on social media, among other ways. But, just really branching out and finding people out there that, like you say,
Mhm.
just really light your fire. And, and also being intentional about staying in touch with some of these people as well. Just even this last weekend, we came up to Fargo, Kayla, and visited
Not
my,
you didn't visit
my
me.
what's that?
You didn't visit
Well,
me.
you weren't in town anyway. I think you were
True.
at the lake. No, did not visit you, but we'll look forward to an invite. My girls might be overwhelmed by your 4 dogs, but they
Yeah.
probably would love them too. But anyway, we came to visit a friend, a couple that were friends with Tarek and Summer. Tarek was my roommate, random
Yeah.
roommate assignment at NDSU. And, we were just looking back and thinking, like, 11 years ago, I was at his bachelor party. We were on a houseboat on Leech Lake in Walker. And now here we sit today, Kayla. And each of us have three girls. So they just had their third, a newborn, and then, I've got three. And so it's like,
Oh my
wow,
gosh.
kind of what difference, um, a decade can make. And so you talk about,
Mhm.
surrounding yourself with good people. And the sad thing is, like, just with the rat race of life, we're not even intentional about getting together really more than once or so a year. But so
Yep.
it's just, again, just really taking an inventory of not only who you're spending time with, but,
Mhm.
what you're prioritizing, where you're spending your time. It's just so easy to get caught up in, things that really don't provide any value, or don't provide you any gain.
That is so true as being intentional. I've got a girlfriend where we never saw each other, and she's the best at being intentional. So we actually schedule our pedicures so we're on the same schedule now, because that's when we can see each other. It's just something so simple, but yet when you're intentional, I mean, and put it on the calendar, make the time. It's just, you're right. It's the rat race of life. And I don't have kids, and yet I feel like I see my friends less and my family less. And it's like, if you're intentional and make traditions and make it a point to, just like I said, book it, make the appointment, put it on the calendar, because it's so easy to forget that relationships can come and go. And if you're not intentional, then there's a risk that you could lose them, to be honest.
Yep, absolutely. The thing that I love best is, finding those individuals that, light your fire, that even if you don't talk to them for, an appreciable amount of time, that, somehow you can just come and you can pick back up right where you left off, which I feel like in a sense we did that, and that, hey, like we went different directions, and then I don't even remember how we reconnected. And here we are 50 podcast episodes later, and there are still a few people out there that are watching and listening.
Here we are. That's maybe something that our audience could do, is start a podcast with somebody. Then I'm forced to see you every week, Andy.
Well, you choose to see me every week, but yeah, it's one way, just like the pedicure.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And I think too, like what you just said about, it doesn't have to be in person. There's so many like masterminds you can join. Like I can't tell you the amount of real estate, mortgage, like where you can just talk to someone else about something you're going through, or marketing. And there's so much out there. If you hop on Facebook or Instagram, like connect with people, because even being able to connect with someone on video, you're staring at them, like you have this interaction face to face. And it's so much more powerful than the phone. So, break those geographical boundaries, and don't be afraid to just ask someone for a Zoom. It's amazing how much difference that makes.
Right. I love it, Kayla. I just went to my first mastermind ever, and I'll be 38 in like another week or so. So, and it was really, really awesome.
Okay. So you liked it. What was it about? Was it real estate?
It was somewhat real estate related. So it was kind of in conjunction with the Hatch Summit that we talked about. And so Eric hosted a kind of smaller, more private mastermind out at his lake place on Lake Sally, and just really great. Kind of a lot of it talked about, high level, financial related things, and, building, generational wealth as well. And just was an opportunity also to connect with a lot of other like-minded individuals, which was probably the best thing.
And it lights a fire, doesn't it? It makes you want to just be around them more.
It does.
I love it. I love your tips. And anything else that you would want to share today with anyone, that whether it's balance or being around the right people, anything else that you do, Andy, that could be useful to anyone listening?
I have a lot of people that come to me and they have a business dream, or they have a goal or something they want to accomplish. Or a lot of people that come and say, hey, I want a lifestyle like what you have, or I want to, build wealth, or I just want to make a lot of money. And I often tell those people that, you're looking in the wrong places. Like, go find what you're passionate about. Go share that passion with other people. If you really love what you're doing and it shows, you're going to attract people that really, love your personality and love what you're doing. At which point, kind of what you're looking for, will more than likely come, whether it's wealth or, some sort of success. So just go do what you're passionate about. And, as it pertains to, having a personal board of directors, even relating it back to real estate for just a moment, we talk about, and I feel like sometimes we're beating a dead horse, but it matters so much who you align yourself with, just in every area. If you want to win in life, surround yourself with good people. If you want to win in real estate, whether you're an agent or a lender, surround yourself with great people. I was talking to my team today. We're really, really dialed in. We just added another full-time staff member. So there are, 5 of us total that work full-time. And we're really, building something that I think is really, really great. Not a lot of people can say that. So go find your people, go chase your passion, and things are going to go really, really well for you.
Well said, Andy. I think comparison is the thief of joy. And, and it's easy to get wrapped up in that. So to piggyback off what you said, I would say focus on what you want, focus on your passion, just like you said, and make sure you're surrounding yourself with those people. You should not have to drag your friends or your colleagues or anyone across this finish line with you. They should be running across that finish line with you. And if they're not, then that's okay. That's absolutely okay. They're running their own marathon, but you need to find the people that are on your 6-minute mile. And I would say that has been a game changer for me. there are times where, I might not be that full speed, but there's other times that I just want to, push hard, push forward, and I need those right people around me to get me through. So focus on yourself, focus on your own race, but also make sure you're not pulling people across that finish line.
Amen. I'll be waiting for you at the finish line, Kayla.
Oh, thanks, Andy. Well, I'll be waiting for you because I mean, I'll probably be faster, but
You probably are faster.
Oh.
Well, Kayla, I think that's been a really, really good discussion. I always appreciate high level conversations with you, and obviously we have a lot of conversations, off camera as well. That some of the stuff is really great. That would be great to share as well. Yeah, great way to celebrate 50 episodes.
50 episodes. Maybe next time, Andy, you can bring out your guitar. Sound good?
Maybe so.
Okay.
I won't sing the song that I think you're looking for, but maybe so.
We'll get another one going. So keep an eye out for episode 51 of Andy playing his guitar.
Amen. Well, Kayla, have a great week, and we'll look forward to connecting with you next week.
Sounds good. We'll see you later, Andy.
See ya.